What are you guys doing?
Playing our instruments.
You don't have any instruments.
Yeah, we do.
We're pretending.
Well, why are you pretending?
Because we're bored.
Well, if you're bored, why don't you watch a real band concert on Education Day? Which starts
now.
Welcome to Education Today. I'm Brandy Haddon from West Shamokin High School in the Armstrong School District. Tonight we're going to see and hear some musical selections from the annual Armstrong County Band Festival. 88 students from 7 high schools in Armstrong County gathered for the 2-day festival and presented a public concert at Fort City High School on January 30th. The guest conductor of this year's festival was Dr. Jason Worsbit, the Associate Professor of Bassoon and the conductor of the concert band at Indiana University of Pennsylvania. Let's take a look.
Family members to let us take your kids out of the school for 2 days to make some music. And what came in here as a raw, unskilled group has kind of blended into a hired and more organized and more proficient group of musicians, and they've become one. So congratulations to them and thank you very much. I'd like to introduce you to your host director, longtime musician, teacher, definitely historian, who has covered many, many aspects and areas of music throughout his career. And if I'm correct in talking to him, this will be his last county band festival, and what a better way to go than right here at Fort City for him, Mr. Dennis Kramer.
Good evening and welcome. The first thing we'd like to do is make sure if you have a cell phone, pager, beeper, anything like that, would you do us a great big favor and make sure that it's silenced right now, because we are recording this and every one of these children is going to receive a complimentary copy of this recording, and the last thing they really want to hear is your phone's version of the 1812 Overture. So thank you. It's been a wonderful opportunity to be able to host these young men and women in our building. I would especially like to thank not only the administration of the Armstrong School District, but the administrations of Freeport, Leechburg, and Apollo Ridge School Districts. Without their continued support, we would not be able to do programs such as this. The custodial staff here, the secretarial staff, our faculty, the administration, the people who take care of the dining services, everything's been wonderful. And so I'm very, very appreciative of all the help that goes on behind the scenes that most people never have a chance to see. When you choose a guest conductor, you try to find someone that will work well with the students, will bring something as an educational basis to the students, but also someone that can work with you, because you have to sit down and work with that person to be able to select the program, the music. Our guest conductor this evening, I've had the pleasure of knowing since he was in high school. He's a graduate of Marion Center High School. He was a clarinet player when I first met him, and he kind of got bored playing clarinet, so he decided to learn to play bassoon. I watched him go through undergraduate school over at IUP, and I've watched him grow into earning his doctorate in music and conducting. And he's been a wonderful friend for a long time. I've had the opportunity of playing professionally with him, and I can't think of a better person to put in front of these young people. So at this time, I would like to introduce to you Dr. Jason Worsbit.
Good evening, Armstrong County. How are you? Terrific. Boy, it's a pleasure to be here. I've been at IUP 10 years, and I've never had the opportunity to stand in Armstrong County and make music. And I'll tell you what, after the past 2 days, I hope I get an opportunity to do so in the future again, because spending time with these folks and the teachers of these fine young people has just been wonderful. The first piece that you heard is Flourish for Wind Band by Ray Vaughan Williams. Ray Vaughan Williams is a very important British composer to this medium. There was a group of composers from England, Ray Vaughan Williams and Gustav Holst, that composed many of the first pieces that were written for this ensemble that you see before you, so it's our pleasure to open up with that. The next piece that we're going to do is the Royal Coronation Dances. The music that you're about to hear was written almost 500 years ago, and it highlights the fact that music written for the band, for the wind band, actually predates any music that was written for the orchestra or any other instrumental ensemble by almost 250 years. So the ensemble that you see before you is the oldest instrumental ensemble that has ever occurred. It's a setting of 3 pieces by a French Renaissance composer by the name of Claude Gervais, who was most likely employed by some type of a king or a queen or a duke or a duchess. And, if you were an instrumentalist living in the 1500s, it was actually a pretty good gig, because they paid for your meals, they paid for your uniform, you played for a couple ceremonies, so it was a good gig. The only problem was that the bands also worked for the military. And in the last piece, you're going to hear sporting games as kind of a battle-influenced type of piece, in that if one king went to war with another one, they didn't send the military first. They sent out the band first. And you put this band over here, and then you put this band over here, and the one band would try to scare the other band. It was kind of like the earliest version of Battle of the Bands, except it took place about 500 years ago. So it's our pleasure to perform for you the Royal Coronation Dance. It's a 3-movement suite. coming here is that I've gotten to spend time with a lot of people that are very, very close to me. I just got married in August, and it's very interesting. This area in Ford City has become a very important place to me because this is where I met my wife. Ford City, Pennsylvania. She's seated right back there. And actually, through marriage, I actually have a nephew who's sitting in the trombone section. So it's very, and the other thing that you need to know is that our esteemed host director, Dennis Kramer, actually played a very important part in introducing, kind of getting me and my future wife together. So it's always great to come back to this community. This has kind of become my adopted second home. So it's pretty neat to be here. The next piece that we're going to do on the program is entitled Dusk by Stephen Bryant. If you don't know the name Stephen Bryant, I think you probably will in the next 5 to 10 years. This gentleman is quickly becoming one of the hottest names in composition, in particular for band. I actually had the opportunity to attend graduate school at the University of North Texas with Steve. We were classmates at the same time, so it was kind of neat to see him doing all these wonderful things that he's now becoming famous for. His piece, Dusk, is probably one of his best-known pieces to date, and this piece is simply, it was written to evoke the feelings that you might see or might experience during a beautiful sunset. So this is Stephen Bryant's Dusk. We had a lot of fun doing that over the last couple of days. Pretty neat piece. The next piece on the program probably is more historically important and more, it's just an important piece that we have right now in the times that we're living in. Let me explain what I mean by that. Each Time You Tell Your Story is by Sam Hazo. If you don't know that name, again, this is a person that is writing some fantastic band music. And proud to say that he is a Pennsylvania native. He is originally from Pittsburgh, taught for many years in the Upper St. Clair School District, and he's actually become such a prolific composer and music education advocate. He actually had to retire from teaching because he was gone so much writing and doing advocacy. So he is a very, very positive person in our business right now. What's interesting about this piece is that it uses a poem. And the poem was written by his father, Samuel Hazo Sr. Those of you might know that he was at one time the poet laureate of the state of Pennsylvania. He was Pennsylvania's official poet. The poem tells the story in this piece about the meaning of a soldier sacrificing himself in battle. And we are living in very important times where where soldiers sacrificing themselves for the country is brought probably to our social conscious probably at a very big time, probably since Vietnam. So this is very present in the minds, I think, of the nation right now. So what we would like to do to bring to the stage to read the poem, Each Time You Tell Their Story, is our host director, Dennis Kramer.
No soldiers choose to die. It's what they risk by being who and where they are. It's what they dare while saving someone else whose life means suddenly so much to them as theirs, or more. To honor them, why speak of duty or the will of governments? Think first of love each time you tell their story. It gives their sacrifice a name and takes from war its glory.
Wonderful. Well, that's our show for today. I hope you enjoyed the Armstrong County Band Festival concert. I'd like to thank our film crew from Fort City High School for providing the footage. I'd also like to thank our studio film crew from West Shamokin High School, led by teacher Ren Steele. And we give special thanks to music teacher Dennis Kramer, who hosted the event at Fort City High School. Please join us again next week for another look at the Armstrong School District. Visit our website for updated information about the district and have a great week.